Hey, David. Happy birthday, man. Uh, Little did I know about 23 years ago when we met that I'd get a chance to play in a band with you and make music, make a record. You know, uh, Over the years, I've gotten to book shows for you, open for you, uh, and just hang out with you, which has been fabulous. You're a hero of mine, and so to be able to get these opportunities that I've had over the years, I'm beside myself. It's an honor and a privilege to call you my friend. And so this year, when we played our last Essig Taylor Gifford Miron show at the Music Club in February, we had talked about maybe getting you into London so that we could do a show and uh, celebrate your 75th. You acknowledged then that it's a pretty big deal, 75 years, man. And, you have a great list of stories to go with it. And, I'm grateful every time I get to sit down with you and hear some of those stories. And, I thought it was a big deal. It was something that needed to be done. And then the world went to shit, basically, with this whole COVID-19 thing, and changed our plans, man. We really hoped that you would have been able to come into town for this year and play some winter shows or something like that, but alas, look where we're at. So I knew I wanted to do something for you for your 75th birthday, and I put a call out to some pretty cool people and longtime friends of yours, all mutual friends of mine. And I actually reached out to some people that I don't know, and no, we aren't friends on Facebook or whatever. And I've gotten to know some cool people because of it. So this, my friend, is a celebration of you, your friends, and your music. And what's going to follow now is a dozen or more of your favorite people singing your music, singing your praises, and just all in all, sending love, man, because 75, that's time to party. And I know you can still party, man. So listen, enjoy what comes next, and know that everyone that did a contribution to this project did it with the utmost love and respect for you, and you have a special place in all of our hearts, and we're so glad that you're with us here after 75 years, and we wish you many, many more. So get ready. Here it comes. Happy 75th, David.
Hello, David. Birthday greetings to you from here in London, Ontario, the place where you and I met about 50 years ago. Woo! Hard to believe. But anyway, someone told me you're turning 75, so you've caught up to me, eh? All right. Anyway, I'm very happy to be able to send you these birthday wishes via this video. I have fond memories of when we met way back then here in London, and memories of how we bonded musically and became good friends, and have remained good friends ever since. I don't see enough of you, my friend, but when I do see you, it's always such a pleasure. And I wanted to honor you today by singing one of your songs, my version of Albert's Cove, which is I recorded, as you remember, on my one and only solo album back in 2006. And I've always loved this song. It's such a great example of your wonderful songwriting. And I'm really happy to do my version of it for you today with my best wishes for your birthday. Here we go. Well, I followed you down to a small fishing village on the cold New Brunswick shore. The boarding house lady just leaned on her cane and said she don't live here no more. Well, she could tell I was cold as I stood in her doorway, and she invited me in for a warm cup of tea. She said, "Sit down, young man, I want to tell you a story. That young girl you seek was like a daughter to me." Well, she arrived here last June with a job in her pocket at the old packing plant down the road. And she took out the spare room up over the kitchen for $1 a day, room and board. Well, the evenings we passed with a few hands of euchre, or trading our secrets as we walked by the sea. As winter drew on, we just kept getting closer. That young girl became like a daughter to me. Then a week ago Sunday, she went walking alone on the cliffs overlooking the Cove. Now some say she slipped, but I know that she jumped to her death on the rocks far below. And the old woman smiled as she tried not to cry, and shifted her rocking chair so I could see the picture of you that she kept in her Bible. That young girl, she said, was like a daughter to me. Then the old woman stood and she pointed her finger and said, "There's one more thing that you should know. The fishermen say they can hear her sad wailing on a cold, foggy night on the Cove. They say that she cries for a young man to save her from her death on the rocks that lead down to the sea. But I know she cries for that baby you gave her. That young girl you know is like a daughter to me." And on that happy note, all the best to you, my friend, on your birthday. Greetings.
Close your eyes and imagine the way that it felt. It won't do any harm if you try. And do you remember the night that we knelt and my hand brushed a tear from your eye? And you showed me the pictures of where we had traveled and where we might someday arrive. And you held me with more passion than I ever could imagine at the end of a long, sweet ride. Rising hills, falling valleys, deep rivers and broad streams are the words that the poets have tried to explain how it feels at the end of a dream with that sweet, special one by your side. But the words a tear from my eye. And you showed me the pictures of where we had traveled and where we might someday arrive. And you held me with more passion than I ever could imagine at the end of a long, sweet ride. And you held me with more passion than I ever could imagine at the end of a long, sweet ride.
Hey, Dave. Nathan Rogers from here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where it's sunny and bright, and it's been below zero all night. Anyway, happy birthday, brother. I'd wish you another healthy and happy 75, if that made any sense at all, but definitely stick around. Don't go anywhere for a while. You're already pretty legendary to a lot of us, and but there's no need to go and be a legend. All right, so stick around for a while. Keep making some great songs. Jackie Washington made it into his 80 whatever year, so you should be able to do it too. Because as near as I can tell, you've gone almost as hard playing and singing and kicking your guitar around. So we love you, brother. Happy birthday, and here's to very many more. And I know that there's a good dozen or so people or more here in Winnipeg that just love you dearly, and hope to see you again once we're all safely able to do so. All right, take care, cheers, happy birthday, and best wishes for very many more.
He said he'd studied medicine so we could call him Doc. He said he got religion, he told us all of God. He told us what we needed, we saw what he got. Down inside of Flo's Cafe, could not go unnoticed inside that small cafe. Many times she told us she planned it that way. Down inside of Flo's Cafe, she said her name was Jennifer. Well, that was a name she liked to use. Said she came from Denver, where she got those walking blues. She lived with a man in Louisville, and you could never choose. Down inside of Flo's Cafe, you could not go unnoticed there inside that small cafe. Many times she told us she planned it that way. Down inside of Flo's Cafe, Flo herself, we never really got to know her well. She mostly seemed to worry about what she had to sell. But she had a son in the military school, and you could never tell. Down inside of Flo's Cafe, you could not go unnoticed there inside that small cafe. Many times she told us she planned it that way. Down inside of Flo's Cafe, Me, I just keep sitting here with all the friends I've known. Seems like years since they've been here. Where have the good times gone? I just wish Flo would take me home. 'Cause we all live alone down inside of Flo's cafe. You could not go unnoticed there inside that small cafe. Many times she told us she planned it that way. Down inside of Flo's cafe. Hey, happy birthday, Dave. I always loved this song.
Happy birthday, David. I chose this song, Rolling and Tumbling, to celebrate your birthday because I was going through a bunch of your clips and I came across this one where you're playing Festival of Friends on a guitar exactly like this, a 14-fret Duolian. And I remember when I was a little kid watching you at Festival of Friends playing that Duolian, and probably led me down a path of crime and collecting guitars. So I thought I'd play this song for you. Happy birthday again. Rolling I tumble down the whole night long. Rolling I tumble down the whole night long. When I woke up this morning, you know my right from wrong. I told my baby before I left this town. I told my baby before I left this town. Don't let nobody tear my bare house down. River was whiskey and I was a diving dove. River was whiskey, I was a diving dove. I go down to the bottom, I will never come up. Well, I'm rolling, I tumble down the whole night long. I'm rolling, I tumble down the whole night long. I woke up this morning, didn't know my right from wrong. Woke up this morning, didn't know my right from wrong. I woke up this morning, didn't know my right from wrong. Happy birthday, David.
Hey there, David Essig. Happy birthday. Congratulations on number 57. And also on having written, in my opinion, one of the classic guitar melodies ever written, Berkeley Springs. Played a little bit of it there for you. For those of you who don't know that tune, shame on you. David put that on an album called Morning Calm back in the late 80s. And it's the first tune in the album. The first thing I heard when I heard it immediately, I thought, there's a classic. There's a tune that'll never die. So congratulations, David. And hey, I got to play my brand new Mark Beneteau guitar, which I just got. That was its world premiere. And it's all for you, David. Okay, happy birthday.
We'd get there the first thing it opened, and we'd stay till they yelled out last call. Each of us secretly hoping that we'd find us a sweet place to fall. Like the grade 7 teacher from Woodstock, or the girl from Elmer that worked at the bank. But the girls always kept their back door locked, and we'd pass out drunk in the tank. Just a beat up old building across from the tracks. There was no feeling guilty and no looking back. An intensive care unit for the sad and the screwed. Nurses would curse us with pictures of blue. We'd eat pickled eggs by the dozen. We'd be laughing so hard we could cry. And I'd be putting the moves on your second cousin, saying take me upstairs for a ride. But she loved a guy who was older, just back from a tour out in Nam. He came home with a steel-plated shoulder, and a smile said, I don't give a damn. And just a beat-up old building across from the tracks. There was no feeling guilty and no looking back. An intensive care unit for the sadly confused. And nurses would curse us with pictures of blue. Well, we'd get there the first thing it opened, and we'd stay till they yelled out last call. Each of us secretly hoping that we'd find us a sweet place to fall. Today none of us can really go near it. We forgot all the tales it could tell. But tonight I'm soaked in the spirit that we found in that beat-up hotel. Just a beat-up old building across from the tracks. There was no feeling guilty and no looking back. An intensive care unit for the sad and the screwed. And the nurses would curse us with pictures of blue. And the nurses made hearses of pictures of blue. And the nurses rehearsed us with pictures of blue. Cheers, David. Happy birthday, man.
I can still see you walking through London in the night, in that crazy fireman's raincoat. Well, it never fits you right. And we'd sit down on the corner, Queen Victoria, don't you cry. Got that 5-star in our bellies and the music's in your eyes. And in a beat-up house in nowhere, you pulled out your first song, and I played on my old tape deck, and I let it roll till dawn, sent us stumbling to our senses. Your heartstrings run us dry. You were heavy with the beauty of the music in your eyes. And sometimes we'd bet on ponies who would come into the bar. They would promise us a long ride, but they never took us far away from all our problems. They gave us bad advice. They put rhinestones in your pocket and the music in your eyes. And then the years poured out like bourbon, and we walked on different roads, and I wrapped your words around me like a beggar in his robes. And when summer squalls are threatening to darken all the sky, I will find my tender refuge in the music in your eyes. Happy birthday, David Essig. I love you, brother.
Happy birthday, David Essig, 75 years old. Way to go. Coincidentally, this year I turn 57. You've been a link in the chain for me, David. Let me digress. When I was 16 years old, give or take a couple of months, still living at home in Ireland with my parents, still going to high school, my sister Jane returned to the family fold with an album in hand. So she'd heard that I'd started to play guitar, and she brought me this album thinking it might interest me. It was called Hobo's Taunt. And it was very influential, obviously. But I remember I have a very clear memory of sitting in front of my turntable trying to ingest this record. I just started playing guitar. I was learning and doing that thing when you're pulling material in. And there was the name David Essig, and I remember thinking, who is this guy? And trying to imagine, and this was so long before I met anybody from that circle, but I still love the story and the audacity of, I don't know how old you were. I mean, Willie was just a kid. You couldn't have been much more than a kid yourself, but somehow you signed Willie P. Bennett to your artist-owned label, which was such a revolutionary thing in itself, that an artist would own their own label. You signed Willie P. Bennett. You went into Grant Avenue Studios with Daniel Lanois as the engineer and the Whitley brothers as your band, amongst others. And you made that record, a timeless Canadian classic of an album. You produced that. And that record That record led me to forming a band with Colin Linden and Tom Wilson, Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, and that band has taken us all over the place. We've opened a cross-Canada tour for Merle Haggard. We've been on the Grand Ole Opry twice. It's remarkable how that little link that you are opened so many doors for me. That album that you made opened so many doors for me. I'm most grateful. I first met you at some weird little festival in the middle of Vancouver Island. I can't even remember when it was. I was very young, just starting out, I think. And I remember that you were very kind and you were generous, which when you're a young artist running into an older artist, there's a dynamic. And if you can be generous as the older artist, it means so much to the younger artist. And you were generous with me. I appreciate that. My other really strong memory is fast forwarding a lot now. Just 2017, you and I on stage at the Salmon Arm Blues and Roots Festival in an hour-and-a-half long workshop with Claire Lynch and Braden Gates to talk about the music of Willie P. Bennett and play songs and tell stories. And what a great time that was. It was quite magical. One of my favorite memories of that festival for sure, but sometimes workshops can be just plain weird. That was a beauty. So anyway, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Keep your lamp trimmed and burning. Keep your lamp trimmed and burning. Keep your lamp trimmed and burning. And look at all the things you've done. Look at all the things you've done. Happy birthday, David. Happy birthday.
Well, hi, David. Happy birthday. I sure wish we could all be together. Hopefully, when this is all over, we can get together and do some playing. Thanks to Ian Gifford for putting this all together. I did this once already, but it turns out I don't know, I'm tapping my foot like crazy and it was making the camera go book, book, book. So I'll try it again. Thank you for writing this song. What a beautiful song. He rides a guitar like it was a freight train. Songs you can carry, songs you can keep. And his voice is on fire in the palm of your hand. He made the young girls tremble, and the old boys weep. So let him go. Don't blame him if he falls asleep. He's just dreaming of the day when his life was a stage and he made the young girls tremble and the old boys weep. Sometimes he leaves on a chorus. Sometimes his fingers are weak. But just remember that he came before us to make the young girls tremble and the old boys weep. He rides a guitar like it was a train. Songs you can carry, and songs you can keep. And his voice is on fire in the palm of your hand. You made the young girls tremble, and the old boys weep. He made this old girl tremble, and the old boys weep. Happy birthday, David.
Hey Dave, happy birthday, buddy. I hope you're safe and well and healthy out there on the left coast. I think it's really nice of Ian to put all this together, and I was obliged to pick up a new song here. Let's see how it goes. When I was a little boy, down in my mother's hair, she'd take a swig and say, "Now kid, you're my little cross to bear. I love you, son, you are the one whose glory I will share. The trouble of my life's become a little cross to bear." To me, I was no troubled child. At least I did not know what caused my mother so much grief and troubled her heart so. When fear of faith would plague her soul upon a sleepless night, a prayer of doom come from her room. "Oh Lord, please make it right." And in the dream that was Jim Beam, she cast her final care, saying, "To a glass this too will pass, my little cross to bear." Saying, "To a glass this too will pass, my little cross to bear." From school was just the same. I'd find her in the kitchen where she played a righteous game. "I'm waiting for your daddy, boy, and Lord, this house is hot. Go open up that window, son, pour me another shot." She had one more, then through the door I'd hear my daddy say, "I'm sorry that I'm late again, just too much work today." My mama would smile up at him with eyes that could not see. "That's okay, it's always been that way for you and me." And in the dream that was Jim Beam, she cast her final care, saying, "To a glass this too will pass, my little cross to bear." And in the dream that was Jim Beam, she cast her final care, saying, "To a glass this too will pass, my little cross to bear." Saying, "To a glass this too will pass, my little cross to bear." Love you, buddy. Stay safe. See you soon, I hope.
David Essig, from an adoring fan and someone who's so honored to call you friend. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, David.
Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Love you.
He should walk through these hills like a newborn lamb in fields where she may safely graze. Instead, he's a torn and a bitter man who curses the hours of the day. As a boy in a brown shirt, he kicked in storefronts, tossing the world to the flames. And their voices grew higher as they stood by the fire of an evil that could not speak its name. With his tin hat and carbine, he froze to the dead and waited for silence of the earth. He wandered for months with his hands on his head to the wretched remainders of his birth. In shoes that were broken, as bad as his heart was, he kicked through the rubble and the stone. As he fell on the slip of a western-bound ship, and he turned his face from his home. She should walk through these hills and be warmed by her thoughts in fields where sheep may safely graze. Instead, she is tied in a black silken knot that strangles the hours of the day. As a girl in a nightmare, she stood by the barbed wire, watching the jungle in flames. And the lessons she learned as the plantation burned were of evil that could not speak its name. With her two-octave princess brought out from the old world, she played in a prisoner's band till a bayonet's pierce put an end to her song, and the bellows were torn from her hand, and the music behind her would be a reminder of a childhood unanswered in prayer. Now she nervously laughs at the sweep of her past and of memories too broken to bear. They should walk through these hills like newborn lambs in fields where sheep may safely graze.
Hey David, Tom Wilson here in Hamilton, Ontario, wishing you a happy 75th birthday. Way to go, buddy. When I got asked to do this, I immediately thought of your album, Stewart Crossing. It was a huge moment for me in my teens, in my high school years. I also remember you playing at my high school, Sherwood. Everybody thought it was David Essig, but you were fucking great, man. The other thing I remember is you opening a show with the song Stewart Crossing with a reel-to-reel tape deck right beside you, playing the back rhythm. Mind-blowing moment for me. And the sound of the album Stewart Crossing still takes me back to 21 Augusta Street up on the second floor into Bill Powell's Kingdom. Your voice, your slide guitar, bouncing off the barn board that he nailed up behind that little stage up there. These are all great moments, and at the age of 61, you are a part of a great memory that I always cherish. Oh yeah, I also bought the Reverend Gary Davis's 1949 J200. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I don't deserve it, David, but I somehow got it. I knew that if anybody was going to appreciate that, it would be you. I sit here in the corner, a beer in front of me, making noise with the Backstreet Boys, pretend they don't see. Through my thin disguise, to my heartsick eyes, to the teardrops on my cheek, to the memory of the one I love, and she just won't set me free. She's on my mind, she's on my mind, leaving me behind. Well, she's always on my heart and on my mind, on my mind, on my mind, leaving me behind. Well, she's always on my heart and on my mind. Happy birthday, buddy.
Hello, David. Allison here from Kitchener. And happy birthday. You are the youngest 75-year-old guy that I know. And I'm so glad we got to hang out earlier in this year before all the crazy stuff went down. And I'm hoping that both of us can get back to our regularly unscheduled travels and rambling around the country, and that we get to see each other again really soon. I miss you and hope to get out west again sometime, who knows when, hopefully soon, and then we can hang out and make some music. And I hope you really dig all this great covers of your songs that we've all put together, and thanks to Ian for setting this whole thing up. And I hope you have a great birthday, David, and I love you lots, and we miss you. Happy birthday.
Broken promises are your best friends. Fences on demand at 4 a.m. And the plans we made, kitchen tables laid, in the morning to be broken again. Always the one to be done unto, to be taken advantage of. Paying the rent desperate milk of human kindness flows, a sorry river to the sea. Cold and dusty is the wind that blows, makes you shiver like a hollow reed. Always the one to be done unto, to be taken advantage of, paying the rent on pleasures that's spent by the fools in the house of love. Oh, that spotlight sure can shine on you. You make your way up to the stage. There ain't nothing there that you can't do. Sweet inspiration, won't you call my name? The one-man band feels good in your hand, and it's the chance you've been dreaming of. Paying the price and staying alive for those fools in the house of love. Staying alive and paying the price for those fools in the house of love.
Well, there you have it, David. A collection of some of the finest people from all around North America who all came together because of one person, and that's you. And you deserve every bit of it. Oh, the cat says so too. So, anyways, happy birthday to you. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope we didn't bring too many tears to your eyes. And I tell you, watching some of these videos come in, man, whew, you know, that much love in one spot, it'll get you every time. So, once again, happy 75th. And when this is all over, man, I can't wait to see you, give you a big hug, maybe have a little cocktail. Cheers, man. Happy birthday.